Namaste, beloved children. Namaste, beloved children of our Mother Gaia. I'm here in the Mother's magical forest, and I welcome you to the art of the word that I am from the heart. This is one of my favorite trees. It's just 1 minute away from my apartment, including the stairs down. Actually, I have 1 minute and I'm in the forest. So Forrest is my neighbor, and I have been raised in the forest. As I've been a little child, I have been always in the forest. Oh, and I love this tree. It was always my tree. Oh, I would cry. No, I don't cry actually. I have no attachments. My heart would feel sad if they would cut this tree down. They would burn it or something. I live in Slovenia, you know. It's not the land of woods. It's the land of forests. Please don't call my mother's magical forest woods. Please. These are not woods. This is forest. Magic. Giver of air. Mother's love. There is enough wood to collect on the floor so we can burn it. No problem. Slovenia is actually, I live in a country, in a little country, Slovenia, in Europe. It's a beautiful country with 50% of forests, or even few percents more. And forest is highly protected by the government, by the law. Highly protected. If you cut a tree here, just one tree, you go to prison. You go to prison. You go to prison if they catch you. And they sure will. Because if somebody hears the chainsaw in the forest, it has to be official. You have to get a paper. And in Slovenia is only allowed the sick trees that are in danger to infect other trees. These trees we only cut in Slovenia for firewood. Yeah. It's a beautiful country, and I really feel honored and so grateful that I live in such a beautiful country where forest is protected. There are papers out, government papers, writing about what one of us would write if they would work in the fields of forest, preservation of forest. They have government-issued document under that law. Why? Forest is so important. In Slovenia is 50% of forest. And I'm so grateful I live in such a country when forests are protected, like a mother. Even government is aware that without the forest we are dead. And it's honored. Like I said, if you cut a tree here without the permission of government, you will go to prison. Nobody's doing here this. Nobody. Nobody. And I'm happy I'm really in such a beautiful country where nature is preserved, water is clean, and forests is my neighbor. All over Slovenia forest. Yeah, I want to speak about Amazon forest is burning. And I feel so grateful I am in a forest that's not burning and it's protected by government. And if somebody would attempt here such shit, they would go to prison for long, and that's good. As you heard, Amazon fire, always is on fire, always, but now it's really on fire. Now it's getting better. Why the Amazon forest is on fire? I will first speak why in this world the reasons are that Amazon forest is on fire and what we can do about it. I, myself, you. And then the source, highest dimensional perspective, what is happening. Which is for all good, for rising of the light. So why is the Amazon forest on fire? Amazon forest is actually, all nations of the world can harvest the trees, the natural reserves, trees and like this, for their benefit, for their economic development. So they all have permission to cut down. But even though they are cutting it very fast, they had some restrictions. You know why they're burning up the forest? This forest is actually planted by the corporation that want to expand their soya fields, that want to expand. Mostly, there's not so much soya fields there, but there's mostly cattle ranching to raise the cattle for the human population need of meat. And the greed and ego is burning down the Amazon forest, because they cannot cut down so much as their selfish ego desires. They want more profit, so now they burn it. Now they set the forest on fire, so it burns. So then they can set up ranch, and they can raise the cattle, beef mostly, for burgers, for the greatest needs of meat consumption in the world. So yes, you have to understand one thing. 6 to 8 million people used to live in Amazon forest, the indigenous tribes. Now, only 200,000. What happened? What happened? They were exterminated, genocides, even burned. Their homes were burned, forest was burned, they had to move. And many died. This is the first thing. Second thing is, 25% of oxygen is coming from the Amazon forest. That means 1/4. Those who are doing this, burning for their selfish benefit, are destroying themselves. They don't even know. They threaten to cut 1/4 of oxygen from Earth. And now we go to the interesting part. 50% of meat for consumers need in the West, on Earth, in entire globe, 50% of meat that is sold to humanity comes from Amazon forest. This means that cattle is ranched in ranches in Amazon forest. And how it happened? Forest was cut down and now turned into ranches where cattle is raised. Greed, only human greed, you know. So it's mostly done for meat consumption. Mostly done for meat consumption. For McDonald's, for Big Macs, for all these corporations, and for beef that is in the stores, in the shops. Like in USA, half of the meat in the shops comes from the Amazon forest, especially beef. So, the cause for the burning down of the Amazon forest is meat eating. That's why when people say, we can eat what we want, it's no problem, I eat. Hey, but look, what are the consequences? What is the result of it? The Amazon forest is burning. Karma, bad karma from consuming pain and suffering and torture, diseases, and free will of these animals is violated. They don't want to die. But look at that. The Amazon forest would not burn if people would not eat meat. If people would go on plant-based diet. So this is what you can do. This is what you can do. I cannot piss on the Amazon forest. I can do. I did in meditation actually here. Actually, yes. And it helped. It's raining there. But I cannot do on my own, physically, much. I can physically do only that I do not support the meat industry that is actually burning down the Amazon forest, you know, and that I eat plant-based diet so that nature doesn't get destroyed to raise the cattle that is tortured and killed for the pleasure of the tongues. So yes, many are so outraged that Amazon forest is burning, but maybe they are outraged, but they are eating the meat that came from the Amazon forest, and actually they are part of it. Partially because of them, Amazon forest is burning. I don't want to condemn anybody. I never preach against meat. I actually am not. I don't call myself vegan. I'm a human and I love everybody. Everyone has free will. But I want to open your eyes. The Amazon forest is burning because of consumption of meat, the needs of consumption of meat, which are getting up and up because population is rising. And everybody wants to be sick, I guess. And they will burn up the Amazon forest. So it starts with you. If you want to contribute against this burning and cutting down of Amazon forest intentionally, you stop supporting the industry that is actually burning it down for you and for their, not for you, to give you that meat and that burgers if you eat them, but mostly for their selfish profit. And that's why they do it. Ego, selfish ego is burning down the Amazon forest for cattle that is raised and soybeans that are raised so they can feed that cattle, so that cattle can be killed and distributed as food. They are actually thousands and thousands of years old trees cutting down. Every day cutting down for I don't know how many football fields. And now same amount is burning down. Insane. Insane. You have to understand. The Amazon forest is remnants of very old age. Actually, how it is working. The trees are and plants are giving out the moisture in the air and the rain comes. Amazon forest creates its own rain by the moisture that nature, trees and plants put out in the atmosphere, and that moisture is collected in the cloud and it rains. It creates literally its own rain. It's self-sustaining environment, and if you are cutting down and burning down, it will turn into a desert and create great imbalances in the world. I'm not a scientist, but crazy things can happen. Can turn Amazon forest into desert because there's no rain anymore. Oh. So just listen to this insanity. Amazon forest is burning so they can build the ranches to raise cattle and raise soybeans to feed that cattle, so they can kill that cattle and feed human beings and make them sick. They will burn down the lungs of this world and turn it into desert on the end. This is the end. End is near. But not end of this world. Not end of you and me, the children of love and light, but end of human ego. An end of human ego, which will see its demise and burn in the fire that they are setting it. But we will see it. These are the times. Just see what is happening now. Let me now tell you the source perspective. Amazon fire is burning because of the greed and ego. But from the source perspective, Amazon forest is burning for people to wake up, for light to rise. Because now when the Amazon forest is burning, and actually light is shining on this planet so bright that everybody sees everything what was wrong. It's the time of revelation. What was hidden and conceived and was not seen before, it's now clearly seen. So now when Amazon forest is burning, everybody sees it and everybody knows why it is burning, that corporation is burning, and now they are waking up and protesting all over the world. Even in United Nations people are speaking, and in parliaments, to stop this nonsense. You know, light is shining on and people are waking up. We have to stop this. We will kill ourselves. We will kill the planet. That's how it is done, the revelation. Whatever is imbalanced in this world, it was Amazon forest was always a little bit burning and they always cutting it down. But the problem is there and problem has to be solved. And our only way to resolve the problem from the source perspective is to surface the problem. So now Amazon forest is burning in great amount, so people can see it, so people can see that this can literally be the end of humanity if they don't stop. That people see who is doing and people judge it. People stand against it. That's how it works. The revelation, and that's why this world is to have to burn in fire in people, that people will see the light. You know. And everywhere in the system, in the world, in the environment, when there are imbalances, there will have to be a great crisis. Because that's how it is resolved. Light is shining and darkness is surfacing. So now the Amazon forest is burning and everybody knows who is burning it and why, and they want to stop it. So the problem is surfacing. People have to see the darkness. People have to see this. They have to experience it so they can evaluate it, so they can reject it and judge it and say this is wrong. We have to stop it. That's why from the source perspective, Amazon forest is burning for people to wake up. And humanity is such a crazy race. Foolish. If you tell them nicely that they have to stop, if you tell them what will happen, if you ask them on your knees, stop, they don't care. They do it in same ways. They continue. But when the suffering comes, when the crisis comes, when the experience, direct experience of that what you were warning them from comes, then they wake up, then they want change. So in environment, in weather, we will have to see the crisis. In water, everywhere, we will have to see the crisis. Because only in this way, when the crisis comes, and something is really in imbalance, the darkness surface, the light is shining on, and now people can see it. Now people can experience it. And you can tell them very nicely, like spiritual teachers we do for 1,000 years, and they don't listen. But when they experience that hell on their own, then they listen. So like whatever is in imbalance in the world, whatever is in reverse, whatever is harming the humanity, that part, that part has to shake up, it will have to break up, it will have to explode in the greatest darkness than ever before. So people are to wake up. Oh, we don't want this. Such is the humanity, you know. They have to see the darkness. They have to experience the darkness. And this is revelation. So all these things, corruption, greed, that are consuming this planet, this way they are to get resolved by the consciousness of humanity. The problem, because the light is shining on, the problem arises in greater force, in greater extent. So everybody can see it, so everybody can feel it, so everybody can experience it. They suffer in it. And then when they experience that suffering, that darkness, then they can say, no, we don't want this. We want these people to stop enslaving us, to stop doing this to Mother Nature, to stop enslaving us, to stop poisoning our water, to stop poisoning our air. This world will have to see so much darkness still. This world will have to burn so people are to wake up. Volcanoes are shaking up. All the crises in the politics and everywhere, and in family, and in environment and weather and everything is shaking up. Everything is getting ready to be shown to humanity. Look what your consciousness is doing. Experience it. See it. Before it was conceived, no one sees, now see it. So same as be with breaking down with the system. Crazy things are happening in government and in the world, just so that people can experience and suffer in these problems. And they say, we are slaves. We don't want to live like this. And they revolt, they wake up, they judge this. Such is humanity. You can tell them they don't believe. But when they experience and suffer, then they believe. That's why this world is to have to experience so much darkness and so much suffering. Such things like burning of Amazon forest, breaking down of the banks, environment poisoning, water poisoning, and like this. So they wake up. So they understand, we don't want this. These people are doing this to us. So they rise. This is how consciousness works. This is how change works. This is how rising of the light works. If the Amazon forest would not be burning, entire world would not be focused there. And want to stop it. They're always doing this, but now they're doing it more. So people can say, we have enough. We want to breathe. This is our planet. This is our Mother Gaia. You know. So people can wake up to the suffering they are causing actually with their ways of life, with what they support. So they can choose something better. So they can turn back to nature. So this world is to see a lot of darkness, a lot of pain, a lot of catastrophes and shit. It's the end of human ego. And those who want to keep the ego, who want to support the system, who want to be in the service to false selfish service, who think this, they are completely of the system and think Mother Nature is meant for them to consume. And those who support the system, those are to get washed away and released with all this darkness that is suffering like volcanoes and fire. I'm not meaning they will burn in fire and volcanoes, but they will be released like fire is released. They don't belong here. So these are the times of purification. Fire is purificating. Those who do not choose love, those who choose ego, are to get wiped out in the storm. But children of light, not a hair will be harmed on you. You are protected. You are protected by the source, by your guides, by your angels, and whatever happens to you is for the highest good, what your soul has chosen. And nothing, not a hair is to fall from your head. Because this is happening, this darkness is surfacing, so that those who choose love and choose not to support this hell anymore, and they choose that they are children of Mother Nature, they choose love, those will survive. So all this shit is happening. It's the attempt of the light. It's like a desperate attempt to wake them up. Wake up or you will burn in this. Wake up or you will burn in this. You burn in this fire. So ego of this world is the end. This is the end, not of the world, but the end of the selfish consciousness in the world and of the ego. And whoever is holding this shit in their consciousness, this is your end also. And it's clearly seen what is happening in the world. But it's all for the good, because good times are ahead. But the old has to burn down, it has to surface, it has to be released. We are just in this time. And these fires and volcanoes and the catastrophes are also activations to shake up Earth to higher dimensions. And we are living in such times when everything what does not work, everything what is not in alignment, everything what comes in ego is to be shown and surfaced in greater light so everybody can see it and experience. So the world is not ending, world is not burning, but the ego of the world will burn down from this world. But children of light, we choose love now, we choose Mother Nature, we choose unity and harmony. We are protected from the heart. So this world has to see so much darkness and so much shit. I see it, I'm making a video about it, but I say don't focus, like I said in a previous post before, and that's how I will end this video. Don't focus on anything else really, but the divine human that you are remembering and embodying and becoming, because this world will have to burn so they wake up. Because only in fire, when they burn in fire, when they see the shit in the world in the greatest extent, they never saw it. They tolerate it because it's a small shit, but when it touches them and when they suffer, when they realize this is life-threatening for them and their families, then they wake up. Then they choose love. Then they choose something better. That's why focus on your own ascension and good news from New Earth. That's why I was speaking Source News longer on this topic. And let this world will have to burn so they wake up and they stop burning the world. Ego. And ego will burn down with the fire. Namaste. Stay strong. I love you. Everything is under control. It's in the absolute term that is for the greater good and greater future. Everything is happening out of love. So people wake up and people stop supporting this shit. And once again, put your burger down. Put your burger down and get a salad, get a beautiful vegan meal. Don't support the burning of the forest. Rainforest, Amazon rainforest. Goats. So, I love you, and goats love you, and thank you. They say don't burn the fire down, don't burn the forest. I'm just so blessed and so happy I'm in this forest. Nobody's burning it down. Thank you for being part of my journey, and I love you, and we will see each other tomorrow. But I don't know. It's getting... maybe today even, I don't know. How will be time, inspiration. But I did the work that I had to do today. Give you the word that I am. The Amazon forest is burning out of ego. Because of ego, so ego can burn. And because of our meat consumption, as human race. It's again ego. Thank you. And namaste. We do not burn in fire, we are the fire that burns. And I want to add, if somebody wants to support the art of the word that I am from the heart, if they want to share a donation, so I can bring you more videos, so I can bring you more art of the word that I am. I'm so grateful from the heart. And I appreciate and pray for everyone and bless everyone whoever offered. Because without of you, I would not be able to do my work, to give you the word that I am. If there's any blessing, it goes to you. But like I always say, if I receive donation, I do white light source healing session, energy session on you. I balance your energies, I purify your energies, I fill you up with white light, and you're ready to go. This is what I can do. And I'm gonna do it. No need for appointment, I don't say. Is I promise, I give you my word, and I'm gonna do it. But I cannot heal you. I can only balance your energies, you feel better, so you can work on yourself better with your faith. You heal yourself, and you work on yourself, your changes that you do makes a master that you are out of you. I'm only an instrument, a teacher, an instrument of healing energy. And I love you. And thank you for being part of the art of the word that I am. And let us pray and send love that Amazon forest, the lungs of our mother, stop burning. That ego wakes up before it burns itself down. But sadly, ego in nature is to burn the world until it burns itself. Let us send water of love to the Amazon forest, and let us surrender and know that everything is under control and for the greater cause, greater good. Namaste. I love you. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.